Welcome into the Danny Sancomb Show. I'm your host, Alex King, joined alongside by always Coach Sancomb here. So, Coach, man, 2 games left in the regular season. Seems like the season's just really flown by. How do you think? What do you think?
Yeah, obviously 2 more games left. Second half of our West Side conference has been a little bit disappointing. We've been in some games, we've had some opportunities, but we've come up short in some of those. So, hopefully we can find a way to get 2 wins this week and end the season on a positive note.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, let's just dive right into it and talk about that Mercyhurst game we had in the midweek. Obviously, snowstorm here, so our CUTV crew wasn't, unfortunately, not able to get out to that game. So no highlights today from that. But, obviously kind of a disappointing loss, 89-61. But they're the number 4 regionally ranked team. So, I mean, it's a tough opponent, obviously, going out there.
Yeah, we don't match up well against them. They handled us both times this year. They have the ability to shoot the ball well, which hurts us in the zone. They move the ball well. And then they're good at 12 to 15-foot little shots, and they moved the ball well. We couldn't stop them. We didn't have the right energy to go up there and win. We just did not play particularly well that night. And when you're playing a team that's 4th in the region, you need to have great effort. You need to have great execution. And we didn't have either one of those, so it made it a long night.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they're definitely one of those teams that has a lot of depth. It seems like no matter who they transition in the game, it seems like they have guys that know what they're doing in the system. So, I mean, we talk a little bit about the first half. They rush out to a pretty early lead. You're able to battle back there, but they come in with that run to close the first half. So, what do you think about the team's response in the second half? I think you played a lot better then.
Yeah, I just think we let it get away in the first half. I think it was 29-27. We had worked it to a 2-point game, and then they went on like a 13-3 run, I think it was, and it just put so much gap away from us. I think we tried to battle a little bit in the second half, but they just controlled the tempo, and it was their style of game, and they're tough to beat when you get into their style of game.
Definitely. I mean, another strong performance, obviously, from Brent Pegram, 19 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, 11th time leading the team in scoring this season. But a great performance, honestly, from Colin McAdams, too. He had another double-double. What was his impact in that game, you felt?
Yeah, honestly, both of them they weren't very efficient, though, and I think the length of the season has worn on those 2 guys quite a bit. I think Brent especially is physically beat up. He's been, over the last month, he's had some thigh injuries. He has a back issue at this point in time. He's got a hand issue that's going on. And I think for Colin, mentally a little bit is drained. Just the length of the season, being a freshman and playing 37, 38 minutes every single night has started to wear on him, but naturally he ends up with a double-double. I think efficiently, offensively, he struggled, but he was able to get enough done to get to 10 to 11 points. But he did do a nice job rebounding the basketball, for us. So it was good. Saturday, we try to cut him back a little bit in practice just to keep him mentally ready to go. Just the length of the season for him, playing out of position, banging inside consistently night in and night out, I think has taken its toll on him.
Yeah, you talk about 3 guys there that are honestly playing. I mean, they're probably top 15 in our league in minutes. I mean, you're talking Zion, Colin McAdams, and Brent. I mean, it's definitely, I understand where you're coming from when you're saying it's wearing on them, and definitely with the loss of Jermaine Hall. But Colin McAdams has definitely been stepping up. He's kind of in that range of 8 rebounds, so he's doing what he can. And
he's been great for us this year. Absolutely, his effort is great. Zion's effort has been great. Brent's effort has been great. But just the wear and tear of a season for freshmen and sophomores is a lot. Brent probably played last year 15 to 16 minutes a game for us until we had some injuries, and then his minutes increased later in the season. But now we're asking him to score the basketball, take care of the basketball, defend a lot of stuff, and same thing with the 2 freshmen. We're asking them to do a lot. They've been great. They've worked extremely hard, but I can just tell the length of the season has worn on them, and we haven't been, with those 3 guys, they haven't been nearly as efficient the last 3 to 4 weeks of the season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so obviously after a long night in Erie, we come back on Thursday and we have a new logo reveal for the whole university, a chance for Cal U to introduce a new identity for the institution and the athletic department. These new logos are part of a multi-branding program that we're going to do to just show what Cal U is and emblemize them. I mean, on the screen here we have a couple of views of what was shown at that reveal party. It was a 16-month process. I know, Coach, you were kind of new to Cal U at that point, but at those meetings alongside me and a lot of the other athletic staff, just viewing it. I think we're overall happy with what came out. You know, it was definitely a long process. We saw a lot of different options, but it's definitely exciting moving forward. And as we talked to our athletic director, Karen Herpy, she said, you know, we're going to slowly start transitioning to that logo in uniforms and everything like that. It's all going to be gradual. You know, you can't all expect it right away, but it's definitely an exciting time. What is your overall thoughts on the logo?
I loved it. Unfortunately wasn't able to attend the logo party. We were out recruiting, Coach Bridgman and myself, but I was actually driving to New Jersey at the time, and Coach put it on his phone, and I was able to listen to it. And then coming home that night, I was able to watch it, and it looked like a great turnout. You know, the pep band was there, the cheerleaders there. It looked like we had a great crowd of students. I love the logo. It looks great. So I'm obviously looking forward and excited about having a new logo on the gym floor, getting the gym floor redone, then obviously the branding of our uniforms, warm-ups, and everything. I think it's an exciting time, and I think it just is a good logo. They did a great job with it, and it puts out what we want for our university. So I was very impressed with it and excited about it.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of exciting things happening at Cal. We got this new deal with Nike and BSN. We got the new logo coming in. So, you know, there's a lot of exciting new news going to be coming out in the coming months with new uniforms. Obviously, fields are going to start transitioning slowly. I mean, that is a time-consuming process. You know, you have to kind of figure that all out. But, you know, be sure to, you know, stick with us at calvulcans.com to find out all that's happening there. And if you weren't able to see the video, you can also go to calvulcans.com. It was shot by our guys here at CUTV, and you can, if you weren't able to make it to the event, you can see the lively crowd and everything. It was a great time. So, Coach, let's transition to Saturday. We had Senior Day, Alumni Day against the number 2 ranked team in the nation. I mean, definitely an exciting game to have for your final home game of the year. So what did you, I mean, close to the finish there, what was your overall thoughts?
I thought we played pretty well. You know, IUP is number 2 in the country. They're number 1 in the region. I think they have 2 losses on the season. They're a well-coached team. They have size. They have great guard play. I think they struggled. I think they maybe they didn't play their best game. I think we had a little bit to do with that, but I thought our intensity was great. We played extremely hard. Obviously, it was a spark to get our only senior on the team, Cordell, back. You know, hadn't played all year, and he's probably about 80%, 75% with his Achilles injury, but he got cleared to play, and I think he was 3 of 5 from the 3, which sparked us. And just having a veteran player, and he's a great shooter, we know that, but he's a really good passer. Really just helps just having a calming presence on the floor with a senior. So I thought that was great, but I think Zion Collins really stepped up, and I was really happy to see him play that well. I mean, I think he was 9 of 18 from the field. He was efficient. He rebounded the ball. He distributed the ball. He played at a very, very high level for us. So, you know, I was excited about that. I thought Jordan Gessner gave us great minutes that night. And I think if we, you know, shoot the ball a little bit better, we shot the ball well from the 3, but they're very good defensively. If we could just shoot the ball a little bit better, we may have been able to sneak that win out. But they're a great team, and they find ways to win, and that's what great teams do.
Yeah, unfortunately, I wasn't able to be there, as we see the highlights coming on right now. What would you say the overall atmosphere was for that game? I mean, we saw a very strong showing for the women's game. Would you say they stuck around and looked for you guys?
No doubt. Great fan base. Attended very, very well. They were loud. They were lively. They were into the game. I think our guys fed off that energy as well. And I think for the most part, once school started back up, we've had good support from our students. We have to do our part now, and our part is winning basketball games and having a excitement about our men's basketball program, like our women's basketball program. You know, they're in the top 10 in the country, top 15 in the country the entire year, winning games. And we've got to get our program at that level where students are excited about it, fan base is excited about it, and we plan on working hard to get to that level in the near future.
Yeah, we're definitely looking at these highlights right now. This was a point in the second half here where we just started really pushing forward. We came out strong with a 12-2 run to start the half. And then you have Zion Collins, you know, which started to chip away at the lead right here. Zion Collins hits this 3 to take the lead. I mean, definitely got your team sparked, and, you know, we thought you could have just got it going there at that point.
Yeah, and then we hung around, you know, not only just getting, you know, back into the game and taking the lead, you know, with about 15, 16 minutes left in the game, going back and forth and really toe-to-toe with them until the end. They made a couple foul shots down the stretch, obviously, to stretch it to 5. But, you know, with 2 minutes left in the game, we're right there having an opportunity to possibly beat the number 2 team in the country. And I'm not into moral victories at all. We want to win basketball games. The guys in our program want to win basketball games. But, I told them after the game, if we pay attention to detail, if we work harder than the opponent and execute better than the opponent, we will have a chance to beat anybody. And it's difficult because we dress 7 guys, but if you play harder than your opponent and you execute better than your opponent, you're going to have a great opportunity to win the game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we talk about the return of, as we mentioned, Cordell Smith, the senior on this team, a guy that's really been through a lot of transition, honestly, with this program, 3 different coaches, but very familiar face to Cal fans, Cal basketball fans, seeing him out back on the court. 17 minutes off the bench, 9 points, 2 rebounds, and a guy that's been a very effective player. We don't want him to you think of him as this part of his career is it, but a kid that scored over 700 points, dished the ball very well. I mean, what's it like having that kind of senior leadership on the team, although he wasn't able to see the court as much this year?
Well, first, he'd be a 1,000-point scorer if he played this year, without a doubt. He has been great, and no player deserves to go through 3 coaches. That's just really, really hard. But he's the one person I would say has been absolutely great for our program. He's been great for our young guys. Obviously, when you tear your Achilles, you can't do a lot. He was in the weight room lifting, doing what he could in the preseason, during the season. He's been at every practice. He's been, attended every game. He's been incredible. And just his voice in the locker room has been great for our young players. And then obviously to get him out there, it was great. Our guys fed off of that. That was a big part of our energy as well. And not only to come out there and play about 70%, but to give us 9 points, 2 rebounds, and a steal. He did some things to try to give us an opportunity to win the game. And after the game, that's the first thing he said. He goes, "Coach, I just want to keep giving you anything I can to help these guys. They deserve to win basketball games." And we really do appreciate his leadership. We appreciate his heart. I mean, it takes a lot of heart to come back from Achilles injury and play and be productive. And he's been very, very important for our transition of our coaching staff to come in here. He's been great.
Absolutely. I mean, the guy that's just, like you said, tore his Achilles, and to battle back this quickly, to even just play even a slight bit is great to see. I mean, it definitely was nice seeing him out there. I mean, I know Coach Lombardi's very familiar and knows who Cordell is. Cordell's had some great games against IUP, so I know once he started getting it going, he knew he had to start getting on him. We're just going to take a break here at the Danny Sancomb Show. We're going to come back. We're going to discuss a little bit more about the IUP game, and we're going to go into the PSAC standings, the schedule upcoming, and preview tonight's game against Seton Hill. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Danny Sancomb Show. My name's Alex King, as always, joined alongside by Coach Sancomb here. Now, Coach, we talked about Cordell Smith, obviously a familiar face, but let's talk about a future face of this program, and that's freshman Zion Collins. 3rd time this year getting Freshman of the Week from the conference. A career-high performance against the number 2 team in the nation. 25 points, we said 9 of 18 from the field, 4 3-pointers. I mean, a kid that's obviously, we talked about playing tons of minutes. I mean, talk about this kid. I mean, he seems like everybody, I see comments on social media every now and again, this kid's going to be exciting to watch in the future.
Yeah, he's excited to watch now. I mean,
Yeah.
he's a really good player. He's going to continue to get better. His body's going to develop. I think his perimeter game continues to get better. This offseason will be very, very important to him. But what he's brought to our team this year is just consistency. Scoring the basketball, distributing the basketball, decision-making, and all those things will continue to get better. He was thrown into the fire this year, so to speak, just with our lack of depth. And he's thrived. And getting this type of experience for a freshman, it's great because, next year he'll be a sophomore, but he'll be really kind of like a junior as far as the playing amount. He's playing anywhere from 35 to 39 minutes every single night. So he's been out there to experience those things. And just his consistency of scoring the basketball, he's really hard to keep in front. He has a great mid-range game, and I think in time he's going to become a very good three-point shooter. And once he does that, it's going to make things very, very difficult on defenses, because if they crowd him and try to push up on him, that's when he's at his best, being able to get in the lane, and he makes the right decision. So really excited about him. Reminds me of a couple players that I've had in the past that have developed and had unbelievable careers, and I think his best basketball is still out in front of him.
Absolutely. I mean, talking about a guy here that's now claimed the award 3 times, the most in over a decade for the program. He's really doing it all. Great length, great, gets inside, gets those shots. He likes to take. I think in my opinion, he takes a lot of high percentage shots. He tries to get the best look he can, and it's been a struggle for everybody to contain him this year. Four 20-point games this season, and as you've talked before, I mean, you talk about a guy that it's not all about scoring for him. He wants to get the rebounds. He wants to get the assists. He wants to get the steal. He wants to do everything well.
He does, and that's what winning basketball, you need that. He's very good on the glass. He's 6'2", maybe 6'3", but he's so long. I think he's probably like 6'6", 6'7" wingspan. I mean, he's really, really long, and he just has a good feel for the game. He can pass the ball well, and he's smart. He's a very highly intelligent player. So you're right. He takes high percentage shots because he's smart. He gets to areas where he's effective, and he's hard to keep in front. Once he gets stronger, he's going to be a really, really good player, and I am excited about his work ethic. Being with a player now for 6 months, since the start of the school year, I think in that area he's improved. I think he'll continue to improve, and I think this off season, if he works extremely hard, he can come back and be an elite player in our conference.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is definitely an exciting backcourt to watch for the next 2 years. We got Brent Pegram and Zion Collins together. I mean, these two guys just, go at it each night, give their all for sure. I mean, we're going to take a look at the upcoming PSAC schedule here. We're going to Seton Hill tonight, and then we're closing out the season here going into Clarion. So 2 road games to end the year. We had a nice little home stretch there, so it's exciting. We're going to have radio out there tonight, and then be sending CUTV up to Clarion. But let's take a look at the standings while we're at it here. Obviously, we talked about, we're still excited to play these 2 games, get some positive results. Obviously, we're not where we want to be. As we can see, some teams are locking up. We got a little battle at the bottom there, Coach. But, you view Seton Hill and you view Clarion we're right in your range. Definitely 2 games that you want to get wins on your schedule for, right?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think the big thing is we want to play well. It was nice that we played well on Saturday, but, we didn't play particularly well versus Mercyhurst. So we want to finish the season on a positive note. And, we want to figure a way to win 2 games and put ourselves as high up in the standings as we possibly can get at that point in time. Though they're both road games, we think if we play our style of game, we have a chance to win both of the games.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, let's talk about previewing tonight's game against Seton Hill. We're going right down nearby Greensburg, nice little 40-minute drive from Cal's campus. Talk about a close game last time here at the Convocation Center. I mean, it's 72-70 game, 9 ties, 7 lead changes. I mean, it was a really back-and-forth game played overall. And, I mean, another outstanding game from Zion at the time, then his career high, 23 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 blocks, and another near double-double from McAdams. We'll have the highlights playing right here from last game so people can see how close it was. But, I mean, what improvements can be made in a game like this? Obviously, free throws played quite an influence down the stretch in this game, but, what improvements do you want to make?
We want to be better on baseline out-of-bounds defense. That was a big difference in the game. We did not do a good job. They got a lot of easy looks and easy points, so we want to limit that. They stole some easy baskets from us at that point, just on baseline out of bounds. And then I think just really getting out to their main scorers. They have 2 guys scoring right around 20 points a game, and you add McKinney, that makes up a big part of their offense. So we have to know where those 3 guys are at all times and limit their opportunities and make other guys beat us. That's, it sounds easy, but it's difficult. Both of those guys are good scorers. All three of those guys can score the ball, but especially the two guys, they score almost 40 points per game. So we got to know where they are in the zone and limit their looks.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, a strong performance also by our point guard, Brent Pegram. He, had 16 points in that game as well. And like we said, McAdams, 17 points, nine boards in that game. I mean, what's it like, Coach? I mean, we were watching the highlights here. Your team really did get off to a good start. So, that's a positive to take from this game. Like, what goes into keeping the motor, honestly, running when you get up to a nice, 20-9 lead?
Yeah, I think the big thing with us is just, trying to stay fresh. We tend to wear down just with the numbers and the minutes guys have played. So, we've just got to, you're going to hit the wall at some point in the game, and we just can't stop. We just got to keep fighting, scratching, and playing. And we'll have 9 guys dressed today, which will be different for us. We'll have Dante back tonight, which will help, and we'll have Cordell back. So we will have a little bit more depth than we did the last time. So hopefully we can get some guys some rest at the proper time, and we're fresh down the stretch.
Yeah, definitely a tough venue. I mean, I think like 2 years ago we won that game on a buzzer beater, and then the year after that they hit one right down the stretch to beat us there. So it's always a tough venue to play in. You talk about the Griffins here; they've won 4 of their last 6. They're kind of hitting their stride finally this season under a new coach. So it's all it took some while to come together for them, but wins over Clarion, Gannon, UPJ, and Edinboro. I mean, talk about these 2 guys, and Trevor Blondin and Nathan Davis, like you just mentioned. They're almost averaging 20 points a game. It's hard to contain guys like that.
Yeah, they both score the ball, and they have the ability to score from the 3. They're good at the mid-range, and they can score at the rim. They're both good offensive rebounders, so they give themselves a lot of opportunities to score. So we've got to know where they're at. I mean, we just can't let them have wide-open threes. If they're going to make threes, we need to make sure they're a tough contest. We need to limit them, no offensive rebounds, where they don't get an opportunity to score on that. And then we got to find them in transition. So if we can do those things and limit their opportunities to score, they'll have trouble scoring the basketball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're definitely, I think I was looking at today, I mean, they're one of the best free throw shooting teams in this league. So it's got to come down to, keeping them off the line there. And with more depth, I mean, maybe we can definitely stretch them out a little more than we're used to. So, Coach, I appreciate you joining us today. We'll just wrap it up here today for the Danny Sancomb Show. Stay tuned. Our CUTV radio will be there tonight to cover the game and the matchup, and there'll be a short recap following right after the game on calvulcans.com. Good luck tonight, Coach.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us.